Welcome to A Matter of Pact, a Minions Warmachine Hordes podcast, celebrating strength through diversity. This is Gaston.
And this is Rickard, and we are your hosts for this podcast.
And welcome to another month and another round of fantastic news. How have you been doing, Rickard?
Pretty good, actually. The autumn has been really nice. We had a wonderful Croctober here in the cold north.
Is it cold up there yet?
It's just starting to get cold. I think we just had our first dip below 0 centigrade.
Okay, that's like what, 38,000 Fahrenheit?
Whatever Fahrenheit water freezes at.
32.
Okay.
I know that one. Yeah, no, we're starting to get below freezing here too. Yeah. So I'm essentially, DC is as cold as Sweden. Yeah. Basically the same place.
Yeah. I mean, we are enjoying the blessing of the Gulf Stream, so it's usually not as cold as it is for our eastern neighbors.
Yeah, usually our Gulf Stream just gives us hurricanes, so, yeah, shame on you.
We have England to soak up all the cyclones. Pretty sweet.
Oh, God, I would love to use them as a human shield.
Yeah.
That's basically how the WTC works, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Follow up on one topic that we did have from last week is about the Caliban ruling about, what was it, not being able to arc outside of your activation?
Correct.
Well, thanks to Dave Lindegren for finding the link to the Animag ruling. That is a conversational voice in the rules. So the things in the rules that are written conversationally are not official rules.
Nice.
It gets me the result I want.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know why.
So, I mean,
why?
It has been officially ruled by Infernals that Animag is able to channel outside of activation due to her, whatever it's called, Grim Sacrifice or something, whatever. So, I mean, Caliban can obviously use that as well.
Yeah. So that's perfect. I'm very happy that nothing's wrong, because we've seen that happen a couple times in the game where, rules is written, you're in trouble.
And Caliban also got a small buff. I think it's even official now from the Circle Sid. I think we talked about the Carnivore change. That now you destroy and then you're RFP. So actually get all the destroy effects, which is good for his feet. So
Circle has gone up. I'm trying to... I forget. Was it on the new lady?
Pass.
I can't even find... Oh, there it is. It was on Morvana the Dawn Shadow.
Yeah.
Now it's when an affected model destroys a living model with a melee attack, the destroyed model is removed from play, and the spellcaster can remove D3 damage points.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you proc the destroy thing, generating tokens and stuff, I guess. And
yeah, they changed the timing, which is very nice.
Yes.
And we give PP a lot of shit. Some credit needs to go to Disabled Box Destroyed being very nice to have that timing for death, so you can insert things at different points.
Yeah. I agree, and it makes, like, if you have effects that proc during the first disabled, they're super hard to get off RFP'd after that.
Yeah, like tough versus RFP being an example.
Or Callus's feet, for example, I think procs on disabled, so it's hard to get around it.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
No one actually likes Callus.
No.
Or Hellmouth.
No.
With Callus.
No.
Anyways, moving on from my PTSD. Would that be Legion Traumatic Stress Syndrome?
Nice.
LTSD.
LTSD.
We got a whole new frog.
Yay.
I am super happy because all of my lists up to this point have been in a bit of a quagmire.
Wow.
Don't tell me you don't admire these puns. Some of them are a bit more of a stretch, but, I just woke up this morning, so my punning may not be as good as, later. I'm just sitting here in my cashmere sweater.
Yeah, cool. I'm in pain over here, so I'm happy for you.
Would you consider yourself semi-retired?
Go on.
I'm out. That's all the ones I could find that have mire in them. So if you're listening to this after all of that, feel free to submit more words that have mire in them.
Yeah.
And I will use them to torture Rickard mercilessly.
Yeah, please don't.
So our new Lesser Croak is under Chief Meyer. He is releasing at Warmachine Weekend, which will be, I believe, the following weekend from when we're recording this. So this will, I think, literally be dropping as he's releasing. I think he's available on their online store. Don't quote me on that. Make your spending plans according to whatever information you have. But he is hella undercosted.
He adds a lot of value for his points. I would agree.
He is undercosted. Like, it's fine because it's my model, but
yes,
he's undercosted.
Yeah.
So, quick run through the stats: speed 6, strength 6, mat 6, rat 4, defense 13, armor 14, command 6, and fury 4. 5 boxes, small base. Nothing really crazy there.
I mean,
I guess I'm a little surprised that he's mat 6.
I'm loving the mat 6 and loving the speed 6 also.
The speed 6 I could reasonably expect because all the other Croaks are speed 6. The mat, it's just because they like to. He's not a melee guy. He's a shaman.
Yeah.
I think I saw a picture of the model. He has like a headdress similar to Jaga Jaga with the feathered boa.
Yeah. But I mean, I think having the extra speed, I think, is very nice to have. It's a good quality of life thing. Running 12 instead of 10 is good if you're going for flags. And since he has a spell which has range 6, it's just nicer to be able to jump to something 12 inches away instead of 11. As every Rask player knows.
I'm pretty sure every Rask player starts measuring things at 14 inches though. So yeah, he is a Croak. So he has amphibious, immunity to corrosion, Pathfinder. There's kind of the basics. He works for all of Hordes, so congratulations, Hordes.
Cool, good on you.
He's still screw them. He's better for us.
We don't care.
Especially Scorn.
Yeah.
Scorn is just worse minions if people haven't heard. So this is where we start getting to what he's bringing to the table. And the number one thing that we said last time is that I want someone who can cast out the Rage Animus. And through the mystical powers of wishing, this guy has Attuned Spirit, friendly faction. Once per activation, he can cast the Animus of a friendly faction warbeast for free. I'm like,
pretty good.
I'll pay 4 points for that.
Yeah, that seems like a good Animus spot.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
He has Prowl, so it's another defensive thing.
Yeah.
But interestingly, he has a limited battle group that now brings Swamp Trolls into minions. And they are considered friendly Gatorman light warbeasts. So this is kind of a weird, funny one because Swamp Trolls thematically fit in minions and Gators and probably should have been included a long time ago, but I don't know anyone's actually excited about them. Well, we'll touch on them a little bit later. Weapon-wise, he's actually fairly well off. He's got a 2-inch reach spear, which is POW 10, but he has poison. So he's a weapon master against living models, which nothing bad about that at all.
Especially when you have Mat 6 and 4 Fury for boosting and flying attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we get to his spell list. He's got 2 spells, as with most Lessers. One is Caustic Mist. This is off of Gaspy 2. I'm getting old. My memory's not what it was. This is you place a 3-inch AoE cloud in your control range, and a model entering it suffers corrosion. Yeah. You can drop 2 of these a turn, so you're starting to build up your cloud wall now. Obviously, you have the clouds off the splatterboars, you have the cloud off of Rask, you have quite a few different sources of clouds in minions, and obviously you can also use this to trigger Prowl.
The husks,
for
example.
Husks. Oh, I love popping husks, so that's a good one as well. So you can use them to kind of fill in the gaps between clouds and make sure that everything's going exactly where you want it to be. And then his final one is Wield Secrets, and this will give a target-friendly faction model or unit, Pathfinder and Hunter. And Hunter is, of course, it allows you to ignore concealment and cover when making a ranged attack. This is a big one.
Yeah, love it.
This is particularly for pigs. This is a huge one, because one of the things that I've been griping about was you have these witch docks, and I'm not griping about the witch docks. I love the witch docks. The witch docks are amazing, but it's like a kind of a tax on pigs because none of their stuff has innate Pathfinder. So every time I'm building these pig lists, unless I'm running like Carver, I feel the need to have 2 Witch Docks. Well, now I can kind of check off the I don't need Primal anymore because I have Rage, and I can check off the maybe I don't need these Witch Docks, or I don't need 2 Witch Docks because I have Wheeled Secrets.
Yep.
The caveat to this is an upkeep, so you do have to play the cycling game.
Which is probably fine. I mean, because you can even cast out the animals for free anyway. Your beast can cast out something, and upkeeping secrets, and then casting secrets, you're still camping 1. So
yeah, I'm not seeing it as a big deal. And particularly, I mean, you're going to be able to plan around the terrain. It's not like that's going to be shuffling on you.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited about him. And as we had mentioned before, there is this little caveat with will work for food, not a big one, but he cannot be a free solo pick due to being a lesser warlock. However, as Rickard likes to point out, he does contribute towards the free solos. So it's still possible to get up to 4 free solos with him in a list.
Yep. So if you're playing Will Work for Food, him and his war beasts do contribute towards free solos, like any other of the lesser warlocks.
So there's a little give and take there. Since he's 4 points, I don't think it's a big deal. Honestly, I shouldn't say this, but he could be 6 points. That'd probably still not be a big deal to me.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, 5 for sure. 6, I might think more about it. But
yeah, 6 I think would be the ceiling.
It's painful, but I think it's still doable.
It's painful, but I think what you get out of him is going to be well above what you're paying for him.
Yeah, I think that Wheel Secrets is such a potentially fantastic spell by providing both Pathfinder and Hunter.
Yeah, I have so much regret because I can't take him in Thornfall Alliance with like Brigands. Like Hunter Brigands would be like delicious. So I guess I'll just have to settle for Valkyries.
Yeah, or just skip theme.
What?
Or just skip the theme.
What?
Just skip the theme. Just do it. Because, I mean, playing Thornfall is basically as same as not having a theme.
Oh, everyone in the audience, we know where it's just turned 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Wow. This went to a terrible place.
Yep. Dark place.
Well, we do want to kind of step through all the different War Beast options he does have and just kind of give him a knee-jerk thumbs up, thumbs down. The Swamp Troll is getting a thumb sideways already. Probably leaning towards down.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's something that you would bring, I think, normally. Just put it in there. You would have to bring it for something specific, which I'm not really sure about.
Yeah, so I was kind of poking around, and we can just talk about him now. It's just like, is he actually worth it? Because he costs 8 points, so now he's competing pretty directly with the Bone Swarm, who costs 7. He's got 2 POW 12 attacks. He's got a range 8 POW 10 drag gun. The Swarm Animus is redundant. So already, you got the Bone Swarms. They require a little support, but they start out at POW 15, and they can max out, I think, POW 21 before you start throwing grenades with like Hut Chuck or something like that. So this guy is already like lower. He's pops out at POW 18. He gets 2 attacks versus the 1 attack though. So there's give and take there. But to me, I think the key is going to be the gun. The gun brings along 3 abilities, which is dual attack, crit consume, and drag. And do you want that in the list? I mean, do those 3 things raise to the level of your strategic planning for your list?
I mean, we have discussed earlier about the Swamp Horror against Trolls, for example. Basically anything that has defensive line. And, I mean, you could drag stuff out of base country with something else, which isn't terrible.
Yeah, I had like a weird dream vision of like using him to drag out double hammers from Armored Core.
Yeah.
Kill him. I mean, there are definitely places you can use a drag gun. All of my times with the Bogtrog Troller have been awful, but he can't boost. So there's that.
Yeah. And I mean, crit consume can be potentially pretty good. Especially if you're doing the boosting game. I mean, he can boost, you can add size importance, you can add a reroll for age, for example, and gobble up stuff under Harbinger, for example. books.
So off of memory, Signs Importance doesn't let you choose. I think you have to drop the lowest.
Correct. But I mean, it's still skewed towards... I mean, it's still going to effectively give you greater chances at criticals.
Just by hitting more, or?
By hitting more and basically skewing the numbers, so you're going to have like a bigger concentration around a certain amount of numbers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, if you're boosting, I think kind of the rule of thumb is 1 and 3 to crit. If you have Eyelash, you can sort of make that 2 and 3. I mean, it's a great way to get rid of a problem solo who's pain in the butt to kill.
Yeah, it's still like pretty niche applications, I think, but you can do it.
And I think dual attack is at least interesting in that he can charge and then shoot his gun. So that is kind of fun.
Yeah, with Hunter.
With Hunter, yeah. His tongue should have Hunter already. I mean, it's a tongue.
Yeah, he should actually have a little bond with Swamp Trolls. Just Hunter.
So, I don't know. The Swamp Troll, he's new. We'll probably find something janky to do with him. Maybe. If nothing else, you can have fun converting the tongue to do weird things with the model.
Yep. And I mean, it's 8 points, so it's one like effective way to bring him into your lists without spending like a whole chunk on him.
Yeah, no, we have no way of spending a huge chunk of 36 points on him, do we?
Or do we?
So going down the list real quick, I think the Wrestler is kind of the obvious one.
Yeah, free rage.
Everybody wants to spam rage.
Yeah.
So that's easy.
I'm also a fan of a spitter.
I think a spitter works well because it's a ranged beast, so he can just kind of support it while he's casting out his other support spells.
Yeah.
And obviously it works well with Hunter.
Yeah.
The Horror I was pretty iffy on just because it tends to get pretty far up the board and I worry about it getting out of control. However, Elasticity is a fun Animus to kind of be able to just throw around. So it's kind of, if you're not relying on the Wrestler's Rage to bump up your damage, then maybe it's an interesting option.
Or you have a Wrestler's just in the regular battle group.
Yeah, but then you have Elasticity competing with Rage.
Sure, but it's an option.
Yeah, it is. The Blind Walker is a thumbs down.
Yeah, I can't really see. Like, super niche, you need to keep him far back and arc his Will Secret somewhere. I don't think so.
No, mijo. No.
It's it also doesn't make Blind Walkers more spammable on the Jaga, for example, because you still... I mean, usually our Warlocks want to have the beasts in their own battle group to use their spells, so no.
Yeah, he ends up in a really weird spot with Jaga Jaga because you're kind of like, I want to throw Wield Secrets onto the Croaks, but at the same time, she wants all the War Beasts in her battle group.
Yeah.
Due to escort. So, I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to worm his way in there, but it'll be interesting to see in what variety and flavor he does do that.
I could absolutely see him with a spitter on the Jaga, because even though Battle Host is good, I find that I don't super need it as much on spitters, because they're going to hang pretty far back and just blast stuff anyway.
Well, and the other thing that you get into a weird part is points.
Yes.
Because you want to kind of get that 60-point threshold of units for Congregation.
True.
And he's going to take a huge chunk out of that. I think you get 15 points left over.
Yeah, so basically, if you spend all of Jaga's points, 27 exactly, he's still going to block you out of the third solo, because you need 60 points, then you have 15 points left over, and him plus a spitter is 18, so...
Yeah. So, and that's where I would actually move to our next piece and think about moving Bone Swarms onto him. Because and that's where I get really kind of iffy, because I do really like Battle Host on Bone Swarms. Speed 7 is legitimate.
I mean, I love them on all the beasts.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah. You're going to play that game. So, but and the flip side is, you're always kind of looking at Hunter for the Croaks, so you're kind of like, how much am I hurting myself in order to support what? Croaks are 20 points, 40, 2/5 of my army? Is it worth it? So, I don't know. I mean, that's going to be something that I think gameplay is just going to kind of solve for us.
I do think that he adds a lot to, especially if you're playing gunline heavy, because one of the problems that Croaks and also Sacribots usually run into is just cover. Because now there are trenches, there are linear obstacles, there are maybe buildings smacking the board. It's super easy for just stalkers or whatever to hide behind and get a +4 def swing, and getting through that without boosting isn't trivial in any way. But now we just negate it. Pretty sweet.
He actually does interesting things because you see a lot of Idrians with Protectorate. You can get around their mini feats. Or at the very beginning of the edition, I played against a ton of, what was his name, Horgle?
Yeah.
He's got the dig-in spell.
Hmm.
So there's kind of a lot of niche spots where he just kind of magically solves some stuff. Trenchers being another one. If you can get through the cloud wall, then they can't really use dig-in. Oh, Baldur 2.
What does he do?
He drops a rock wall in front of defense 14
of course. Yes.
Werewolves.
Yeah. That's good.
Yes, everyone hates Baldur 2.
Yeah. Unless he brings the 2 big stone monkeys, then Rask loves him.
I don't need to debuff you.
Here, have a big pig. He's hungry for
Oink,
stone.
oink. Oh my gosh. I hadn't posted any battle reports because I was just playing Rask, and Big Pig just did what Big Pig does.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, that happened.
Yep.
Let's see. Bull Snapper. I hate the Bull Snapper, but he is legitimately the cheapest option.
Yeah, if you're bringing Meyer just to get his spell list, basically, it's not bad. You get a free cast of Spinal Growth every turn, putting him at 13-16. And I mean, you can have a little Bull Snapper that's turning around, taking control points in rectangle zones.
So one of the things that might be interesting with that, and maybe it's not the most appropriate one, maybe it is Maylock. Because one of the things that always aggravates me is that the posse lost Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And Maylock still spams the hell out of him, and he can only give him incorporeal feat turn.
Yes.
So that's another place where I think he could slot in with something cheap.
Yeah. Absolutely. And posse lost Pathfinder. Like, there is a problem though, because Bull Snappers only have Fury 2 now, right?
That might be correct.
Yeah, so
I haven't used one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you actually put only Bull Snapper on here, I think he's sort of slowly going to bleed to death. And it's also not tempting to leave him empty. Or, I mean, I don't think you should fill the Bull Snapper with Fury, so he doesn't have a transfer target either.
Yeah, that's a rough one then. So, sorry, Bull Snapper. You still suck.
Yeah,
you sucked in CID. You suck now.
But we do have his bigger brother, Dracodile.
Yeah, what's his bigger brother's name?
Dracodile, also known as Big D.
Oh God, we went there.
Yeah,
we went there. You're so proud of yourself right now.
Yes.
Is this payback for Cashmire?
Don't remind me, please.
I want like someone to knit you a Cashmire Dracodile.
Yeah. Maybe a little, maybe just a little sweater for Dracodile.
So yeah, I'm actually going to be running the Dracodile on him.
Mm-hmm. Is it the Fable Stormandrang Grail?
Probably.
Yeah. Do you have any idea?
Because yeah, I mean, I have a list that I ran the Dracodile on Wrong Eye and Snapjaw that I liked.
Yeah.
And it gets weird with me because I actually, if I'm going to put the Dracodile with Stormandrang, I feel like I actually want Targ instead of the Soul Slave.
I can say both.
I mean, I know that's kind of heresy, and you definitely can't understand both, but I do feel that like ancillary attack on a blind spray on a model that can't be TK'd is enough of a trade-off to at least consider it.
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see both. If you're bringing Dracodile, the blind spray is a huge part of him, and getting 2 is better than getting only 1. On the same time, you are giving up free TK from the Soul Slave and free upkeep.
You are. I wonder with because you got a decent proliferation of battle engines now with Crucible Guard. You have the Railist coming. They also have the Dragon's Breath rockets, so you can kind of blind them down. So, and then with Polarity Field, obviously, it can't be charged. Which is that, and that's the Polarity Field interaction with the Dracodile is the entire reason you take them with Storm and Drain.
Yeah. And I mean, you can get Vision on Mire as well, which you probably will have.
Yeah, and then with the Dracodile's Animus, he becomes Stealth. Because it makes Shallow Water, he gains Concealment from Amphibious, and then Prowl.
Yeah, so he actually got some options. He can either drop a Cloud on himself to proc it, or just cast his Animus for free.
Yeah, that is funny that he can always cast a Dracodile's Animus.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I need to kind of go through. I've been working on Sturm and Drang from a scenario perspective and kind of dojoing that out in a little more detail. And I'm curious if the Dracodile fits into that, or if I'm actually going to want to stay with projecting threat range with Ninja Pig and Dalian Scarith, and then taking the Wrestler for the damage buff. Because that's one of the weaknesses of Sturm and Drang, is definitely that he doesn't have a damage buff. He was relying on Primal, but yeah.
Yeah. Which is never super fun to do. But I mean,
about 4 months ago, I was done with it.
I'm kind of looking forward. I haven't actually started building any lists in a way, but I feel like we should revisit that. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I still keep the Battle Boar with Rask because of hitting, but that's pretty much over Primal.
I like to have a Battle Boar with Rask as well, because if you're going in with Snake or Pig, it's usually you're gonna do a trade anyway probably, and +2/+2 is almost always better than the just +3 strength. And
I had a bad time because I was playing against Sevi 2.
Yeah.
And I put Ninja Pig into him with Rage because I thought I was smart. I left the Battle Boar out of the list. And he missed like 3 attacks in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We're lesson learned.
Yep. You know what's also pretty fun? When you have a +2 mat on their turn and you make the retaliatory strike and you knock them down.
It is. I've actually gotten some pretty good crit knockdowns with Ninja Pig.
Yeah, I've started getting that lately. It didn't happen like in all of Mark 3, but now suddenly it's starting to pop up.
So then just so I think he's got a fairly decent Warbeast stable to pull from. And then we also wanted to just touch on one of the things that we talked about with Wrong Eye and Snapjaw was that once your beast dies, you just kind of go battle crazy with him because he has so many attacks. And I think Meyer falls into the same boat because he has poison. He's, if you put Fury on him, he goes to POW 13. If you put Battle Lust on him, then he becomes a POW 10 Weapon Master with poison, so he's kind of like a double Weapon Master. And then he's got 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate what this guy can do in melee when he's buffed.
Oh, for sure.
Against the right target. Just like, I've had it happen where Wrong Eye just goes crazy, and we're all kind of like, oh, that was weird.
Yep.
So it's something that you can definitely use to catch your opponents with their pants down.
So yeah, and I mean, it's worth pointing out that he actually threats 1 inch more than Wrong Eye because of his speed 6 instead of speed 5.
Yes. So he's got 1 less attack theoretically, but Wrong Eye has to do the bite versus the reach.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy's just got the reach.
So.
And he has Pathfinder built in, which I don't believe Wrong Eye does.
Correct. So yeah, it's good. He plays a support role, and then he can actually do some punchy stuff in the later game.
He is designed to sell.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I'll buy a thing that's good.
Yes, he is designed to sell. Is there any faction that doesn't have Rage as an Animus now? Because Trolls definitely has it.
I don't think so.
Scorn could already get it because they already had access to minions.
No Circle of Legion probably doesn't have Rage, right?
Well, they could take Wrong Eye anyway.
Yeah, but it's still friendly faction, right?
Oh, so they can't do it.
No.
Either way.
No.
Oh, that got better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suck it, real factions.
Yeah, I like this friendly faction stuff.
Yeah, so that's one of the like critiques I've heard for Meyer from other factions. It's like, yeah, it doesn't do enough for non-minion stuff, basically clouds. But
Yeah, because no one has ever taken someone that produces clouds.
no.
Assholes.
Yeah, because Wheel Seekers is auto-friendly faction, so only on minion models.
I hadn't read that part. I don't actually read the friendly faction part because he's in my faction.
Yeah. So it's all ours, baby.
Woo! It reminds me of when Targ first dropped. Everyone like went out and grabbed him for ancillary attack, and they're like, "I can't use this."
Yeah.
Ah, delicious.
Yes.
So, anything else stat-wise to touch on with him?
I don't think so. Pleasantly surprised, probably.
I mean, I think I set my bar appropriately, which is I wanted an Animus bot, and I got more than I asked for.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy. I'm 2 frog thumbs up.
Yeah, I think the minimum we wanted was to be able to have like a guy that you could slap a Wrestler or a Dracodile on, just to add some diversity to pigs, for example. And I think we got so much more.
Well, I've at least dojoed up one list that I'll be trying with him pretty immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know it's Helga. It's got to be Helga. It's always Helga.
You always start with Helga.
You have to, because he's now the key. And I know the previous key was the Soul Slave, and the key before that was something else, and the key before that was something. This is the actual key.
Yeah.
To unlocking Helga. This time it's true. So one of the things I've been doing with her just kind of over the past few months is trying to do a battle group heavy list and leverage gang. And it's always kind of been at the point of kind of like almost, but it can't make that final leap. And I eventually kind of settled down to the problem I was having with it was I was relying on Primal for the damage buff, and I was skipping too many activations because you have your Roadhog goes in, it kills something, it sprints back, but it still frenzies. So even if you have Dolly and Scareth canceling the frenzy, you're losing that activation.
Yeah.
So I had moved towards Wrong Eye and Snapjaw with Rage in there, and with a Wrestler. But then this guy got announced, and I'm just kind of all right. We're going to hold off until he comes out. So what I'm looking at now is Helga with a War for Food, with a free Soul Slave, 3 Roadhogs, Under Chief Meyer with a Wrestler, Dolly and Scareth, a Witch Talk, a Bone Shrine, Orin Midwinter, a Gobber Chef, and 2 units of Valkyries. And hopefully those points are all correct. I think they are. I kind of did this in my brain. So the Witch Talk for me, originally I felt like I needed to have 2 Witch Talks in the list because of none of the Pig Beasts having Pathfinder. So now I was able to kind of remove one of those, and I was paying for him, so that's where the 4 points for Meyer came from. And now the question is, can Meyer handle both the Rage load and what 2 docks we're doing for Ghostly, and I can dump that second dock, or do I still need to keep that dock in there? And I'm just kind of going back and forth, because when I came up with the Fury plan, it's like you had mentioned earlier, you upkeep Wheeled Secrets, you cycle Wheeled Secrets for 2, that's your 3 Animus, then he can cast Rage for free with Attuned, and then that was your 3 Fury. Then he can cast Rage for free with Attuned, and then the Wrestler casts Rage as well.
Yeah.
So that way you're pushing up 2 Raged Roadhogs with Wheeled Secrets. They're Mat 8, POW 20. They threat, 11 inches? If you do the speed boost.
Yep.
And then hopefully they kill something quick enough to be able to move back 7 inches.
I mean, at Mat 8 PS 20, right?
Yes.
If they put gang, yeah.
Yeah, so the Valkyries are there for gang. One of the other things I do go back and forth on is, do I want Valkyries or do I actually want to use the Feral Geists to trigger gang? I kind of cycle back and forth depending on the day. Or a Totem Hunter is also fantastic for triggering gang. So that's probably what the free Witch Dock would become.
Have you considered River Raiders?
No, those are in 40k, aren't they? That's not even in this game.
I'm pretty sure they're in every good Helga list, I think.
No, I want to win. I want to be winning.
Yeah, so I mean, I still think that bringing Helga without River Raiders is sort of like a sacrilege. But you do you, man. You do your thing.
Yeah, make wise decisions. Let's see how that works. So I'm really excited to get this on the table. This is going to be my first outing. I may fiddle around with the solos a little bit. This is one of the things I always kind of go back with is I like Dahlia and Scarith because now I have 4 sprays for infantry clearing the list. And Dahlia and Scarith are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But when you have access to both Defender's Ward and Distraction, you do kind of want to reach for Wrong Eye and Snapjaw to throw up the Star-Crossed.
Yeah. I would also consider Ailish in this list. Because if you're going for distractions, then you kind of won't have the reroll.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And I mean, it's also just good value for Roadhogs. If you're planning to sprint back, just having the reroll for extra security, so you don't whiff on an attack, just have a low damage roll.
It's very true. That is very true. So I guess one thing I could do is I could dump both Valkyries and the Chef and put Wrong Eye and Snapshot in there. That way I'm running 6 heavies, but then I completely run out of things to trigger gang, so it defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I think you need some gang procs in here.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the Valkyries are doing right now.
Or Meyer.
So that's where I'm going to start off with him. Obviously, I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. You have sprays are always good, especially Scarab Spray, and just being able to get to Mad 8 PS20 without too much effort, it's
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And what about you?
I've been doing just a little bit of Dojo. I think that the easiest adjustment was to my old Rask list, the one that used 304 lessers. Way back in Mark 2, I think. I played him with 3 spitters, pretty gunline heavy, and I liked it, so I've been trying to get back to it, and I think that Underchief Meyer was the thing that I needed. So in my old list, I just swapped out Brunnelag and the second Wrestler I had on Rask, and replaced it with spitters, and put all spitters on Rask and gave the Wrestler to Meyer. And that's it. Now I have a much more gunline heavy army. Wheel Seekers and spitters are obviously good. I'm liking the additional value I can get from Enliven now, from Quack and Gab, because enlivening spitters are much better because they get free strikes and they have carapace against those instead of just taking it on the chin at armor 18. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
change.
I mean that looks really solid.
Yeah,
and I will say I've done Quack and Gub with spitters with Jaga originally, and Enliven on them with Ornery was hilarious.
Yeah,
because they come in, you get your swing, then they hit you, then you hit them back, then you walk away.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I'm not sure about the timing. I think it can do retaliatory strike and an Enliven.
I believe you can because at that point you're controlling both effects.
Yeah. So yeah, just to focus this deck and just go through the entire list. It's Rask, it's 3 spitters, the Gatorman Soul Slave for free, Bogdrum Speaker for free, Dahlia, free Witch Dock, free Quack and Gab, Roars with a Battle Boar, and Swamp Gober Chef and Meyer with a Wrestler.
And it's worth pointing out that this is a case where I think that Meyer cannot replace the Witch Dock because of the free strike portion of Shadow Walk.
Correct. You absolutely
particularly on Brian.
Yeah, Brian and the Snake. If you're going for assassinations, just going through stuff with Veil of Mist, you don't want to take free strikes.
Right, and I think that's an important point to raise when you're kind of considering building lists.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting to try those. I've been trying to build some gunline style lists with Jaga and Maylok as well with him, but I haven't found a build I super love. But I'm very excited for just being able to put Wheel Secrets on Sacker Walls and Croak Raiders. It should be super solid.
I'm trying to wonder if there's anything goofy to put it on. A free? Could be interesting. Yeah. I guess, Long Chops. You can finally invest even more into Long Chops and get use out of him. He's been like one of my biggest disappointments.
I've gotten some good value out of him, but he's kind of clunky. You need to position him very carefully, and he's not that impactful, I found generally.
Yeah, and that was kind of where I was at as well. Is he'd do okay, but never enough that I needed to keep him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's cool. He's got potential. The hat makes it worth it.
I do. I love the hat. I love the bird.
Yeah.
Because he's basically, when you think about it, that's his travel kit. That's his toothbrush.
Yeah. Oh, ew.
That dude is packed. He's ready.
Yeah. Clean hat, bird, all set.
So one of the other things that we wanted to touch on, moving past the beauty that is Mire, is, every now and then we get questions from listeners, and we wanted to take any of those that we get and then wrap them up into topics in the cast. So that way, you're being heard from us, and then we're actually giving people information that they want to hear, rather than just kind of battle reports every single time, which gets a little bit old. So we had gotten a reach out from a listener, Andrew Lotz. Thank you very much. And he was asking about how do you run Rask without the lessers? Because we are obviously very big fans of the Rask Zoo, where you take Ninja Pig, where you take Wrong Eye Snapjaw, where you take Dolly and Scareth, and where you ignore the bear. But just kidding.
He's been pretty. I mean, Bear's been good, but he's been pretty kind of low impact lately. So I can kind of see.
Well, you know what's much higher impact?
Tell me.
Meat Thresher.
What?
Meat Thresher.
Which one?
Both. You take both.
I think my headset is malfunctioning because I can't see it right now.
Your headset is malfunctioning because you can't see. Okay. I don't think you have a good future in customer support. So I thought it was a pretty interesting list building challenge. So I actually reached back all the way into February of 2017, which is quite a while ago now, when themes first dropped.
Yeah. And
I had been running Rask and Blindwater Congregation. I had 2 Wrestlers, Wrong Eye Snapjaw, 3 Max Posse, because that's what I own and I'm not buying anymore, a Bellows Crew, and a free Totem Hunter, and a free Mist-Speaker. So when you port that over into today's time, the list actually all still works, and you just gain 3 free points. So you can actually put in 3 Void Leeches and just keep the list exact same. That did pretty well into me. I played in a tournament and managed to eke out first place, just squeaking by Meowcada. So even though the meta has kind of shifted since then, I mean, I was playing against Haley 3 in that. There's still quite a few competitive things even all the way back then. So I feel like the list probably aged decently.
We've got some new stuff. I think we are trailing behind in like the medium infantry department. I think that Gideon Puzzle was probably like the first conservative buff we got. Or maybe, rather like the entire Mark III medium infantry game got. Because Mat 6 is so mopey.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But rerolls, right?
Yeah, but now we have to actually decide between rerolls and charging further.
Yeah. So but that was my list from 2017 to be in the congregation with Rask. And so I kind of went back over it and poked around, and I came up with a bit of an updated, I call it neo-modern Rask. And this would be Rask in congregation. Now he's got the Soul Slave, Wrestler, 2 Bone Swarms, Totem Hunter, Quack and Gub, 2 Husks, a Bone Shrine. The 3 Posses are back with the Void Leeches, a minimum unit of Ambushers, and the Boilmaster and the Spirit Cauldron. So the big thing I did here was I dumped Wrong Eye and Snapjaw in order to maintain the No Lessers challenge. And then I replaced the second Wrestler with 2 Bone Swarms, because I feel like you can buff them up far enough, particularly with now you have the Soul Slave to hand out Balanced Charge and help Rask, that you can get the same work out of 2 Bone Swarms that you would get. You get more work out of 2 Bone Swarms than you get out of just 1 extra Wrestler. And then you have the Boilmaster and Spirit Cauldron to kind of buff things up for the Bone Swarms. And then I like to take min ambushing units just when I can. They catch people by surprise. That's not a huge points investment. And you just you can reach out into back zones where you need to contest and you can't necessarily contest, because otherwise this list is just running straight at you. So I wanted something that kind of stretched the field a little bit.
Yeah. I think it could be worth considering having just a unit of Croak Raiders instead of one unit of Posse, just to have a little more diversity.
So I originally had the Croaks actually in place of the Ambushers and I think the Husks. Cause I think that's what the points were. So yeah, I definitely was poking around that too. And I think you can like dump the Void Leeches if you need to make the points work. So yeah, no, I think Croaks are probably a pretty good choice too. My original reach was back to the was it 2 Posse, 2 Croak list from Mark II, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be pretty sweet to actually get Mire in there as well, just to be able to Pathfinder like Posse a lot at one time.
Yeah,
but I guess it's gonna be really costly. I think you would get like 1 Bone Swarm on him as well. Probably.
Yeah, but then you're not filling up Rask's beast points because he has 27.
I mean, you would need like an additional, like a 3rd Bone Swarm.
I mean, I don't mind a 3rd Bone Swarm because the Boilmaster and Spirit Cauldron, you could take 2 of them at that point.
I mean, you can take them for free, the Boilmasters, instead of Totem Hunter and Quack and Gub.
I guess I could get a point back if I took the Soul Slave for free instead of Quack and Gub.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention when I did this.
Yeah, I would have to build the list. But yeah. Something. I mean, it would give you like, I mean, maybe that's like a good starting list. If you're just getting into the faction, for example, and don't want to like buy all the Lessers or spam as much.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not a Posse spam person. I know you are.
I know, because now I have 7 mini units, so.
I feel like you just do it to justify having 7 min units.
Yeah. Well, what's wrong with that?
The lies you tell yourself. This will be worth it.
A cheap hobby is not a real hobby.
Blythe and Bull are totally going to break the meta.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch on those.
I need to paint mine. I think I have a unbroken streak of 5 years of not painting them.
Yeah. No Meat Thresher, no Blythe and Bull. I'm clean.
Meat Thresher's good now.
Yeah. Better.
So I also made a will work for food list. I call it post neo-modern Rask. This is Rask will work for food, Gatorman Soul Slave or Targ, because Big D is in it with him.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Then I got 2 Bone Swarms, and I have Mire with the Wrestler. He's not really a lesser, right? He's just a solo.
Oh no, I think the challenge was that you don't take like the complicated lessers.
That's how I chose to read it.
Yeah.
So Mire with the Wrestler, another free Totem Hunter because I'm a slut for him. The Swamp Gobber Chef, Bone Shrine, triple Valkyries, and then a Boilmaster and Spirit Cauldron. So on this one, you basically are using the feat to keep the Dracodile pseudo safe. Then you have Mire the Wrestler, they are buffing up the Bone Swarms, and then you have the Valkyries as well, just running all over the place. And then then you have the Soul Slave versus Targ. With Rask, I'm more inclined towards the Soul Slave because you can throw out more balance charges, and I think that's going to be pretty important. Also, the free upkeep.
Yeah.
The Bone Shrine helps, but Rask runs pretty low on Fury.
Yeah, it's not clear actually. We have to test.
And actually, like, the more I look at this particular list, like, I like this list actually.
It seems that the Dracula is gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting, I think.
And that's always my fear with it, but I don't think so. Because you also have 2 Bone Swarms and Wrestler, and the Bone Swarms are POW 21.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but they also don't have that big of a footprint. And you don't want to endanger the Wrestler, so it's gonna hang back and do not a whole lot. But I guess, Valkyries are awesome. Especially the Valkyries with Fury on them.
I think the big thing is it doesn't, like, project the threat that Ninja Pig does. It's more of a conservative list.
Yeah.
So post-neo modern conservatism, Rask.
Art Deco, Cubist.
I feel like that's more Caliban, though. There's a challenge. What art style is each Gatorman caster?
Question for our listeners.
Oh,
how would you map art genres to our casters?
Oh, God help us all. All right, well, I'd say that's a cast. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.